Hello. Okay. New teeth. That's weird. So where was I? Oh, that's right. Barcelona.
Welcome back to WD MagicCast for the week of June 11th, 2023. This is episode 226. WD MagicCast, the show about the mouse, the Marvels, the galaxy, and beyond. I'm your host, Matthew Gracon. In this week's show, David Gallman and I sit down and discuss his progress on Doctor Who, particularly the David Tennant years and the Russell T Davies years of the show since its 2005 relaunch. Go into some depth there and talk about things and see how Dave is progressing and how we view the seasons. We'll be back after these words from our friends and sponsors.
Hello there, WD MagicCast friends. This is Anthony King, the host of the podcast Force Ghost Conversations. This podcast is your home for cozy deep dives into all things Star Wars, including the latest news, movies, TV shows, video games, books, and everything else in a galaxy far, far away. We can be found on every major podcast platform. Just search for Force Ghost Conversations. This is the way to your next Star Wars podcast, and may the Force be with you.
And now, on with the show. Not many Scottishmen can turn the world around. Sean Connery. But there's another one by the name of David Tennant who took the world by storm in 2006 whenever he took over the role of Doctor Who. Just finding this out now is David Gallman, who has completed the first 4 in a few episodes of Doctor Who and continuing our Doctor Who series that we've been doing on the show. Dave is here to tell us about Dave on Doctor Who. Our Dave is talking about their Dave of what he thought or what he thinks so far of the series, especially since he's now finished 2 Doctors in. And yes. It's a good review point of the show. So, Dave, welcome.
Matthew, thank you for having me.
Fresh out of his adventures in time and space.
Yes. I had to take I think I got about halfway to the first episode of the 5th season. But I had to take a couple days after the David Tennant finale just to take that all in because it was a lot.
Yeah, to
it
digest
was a lot.
That. Yes. We had a little over a year. You got however much time as you want.
Exactly. Yeah. Apparently I'm at I think you told me I'm at an advantage because I get to binge it and watch it all in one shot, as opposed to when it was originally airing, you had to wait like a week or a month or whatever for the newest episodes. But from what I've seen so far, it's been awesome. David Tennant in the beginning took a couple episodes to get my feel on him, and I think I was telling you, like, there was at no point did I say, oh my God, I like this guy, because it just, the episodes were good. And so I can't really pinpoint when I was like, okay, this guy grew on me, because he did, obviously, but I just don't know when. Don't know if that makes sense, but Well,
what was I saying to you? That it's kind of you're enjoying the show so much, or you're enjoying the stuff that he's good, he's not so bad, but at some point you look back and go, I really like this guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know at what point that happened.
Right.
But yes.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
The End of Time Part 2 is January 2nd, 2010. So I believe that's the finale for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then season 5, okay, it was April. So we had April 17th. So 3-ish months, 2010, that we had to wait. So that's not too bad.
No, not at all.
But considering that, let's see here. The End of Time Part 1, End of Time Part 2, with December to January. So it wasn't that long between that. But what was the one before that? Because he had, quickly scanning through here, Planet of the Dead was July 26, 2009.
Okay.
So we had to go from July to December.
Oof. Yeah, I had to go for 30 seconds from it to skip from one episode to the other.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was, and then later on they got between seasons. Sometimes you get a year or two between seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So that was never fun, and that's an advantage that you don't have to worry about.
Yep. Yeah. Well, if you compare it to the Game of Thrones, that I was caught up with by the last season or two. And that was painful because it took about a year and a half, I think, between 6 and the final season for, that to end and wrap up. But which you didn't. I think you were able to stream that all. So
I streamed, and it still took me, strangely enough, it still took me the same 7 years. Just my waiting periods were at different points.
Oh man. But this guy, he took totally different from Eccleston, and this hit the character. It was weird how each companion that he had. Yes, Rose was infatuated with him. Who was the next one? Martha? Not Martha. Was it Martha? No.
Yeah, Martha Jones.
Martha Jones. Yeah. I didn't really catch a love thing going on there at all.
Not so much. No.
They might have hinted at it, but I think they shot that down. But then with Donna, it was more. Her season was more of checking the doctor or calling out his character sometimes. So you got a little bit more into the doctor, where doubt is in your mind: is he really a good guy or is he not? So that was brought out from Donna. The other companions, no. So that it's kind of cool how you got the difference with each companion with David Tennant.
Right, which I think in some ways why I like Donna so much is that she wasn't just like, oh yes, doctor, whatever. Oh yes, doctor. She was more of like a Jiminy Cricket.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Are you is this really the best thing? And she would put her foot down and call him out. Why are you doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Here you say you're helping people, but you didn't help them. And she wasn't the starry-eyed companion or the screaming girl.
Right.
She there was a lot more depth to her character. And and like you said, she would fire back at him, and kind of try to put him in his place, which, again, I think worked nicely that it's not just like a little puppy dog and, oh, hold my hand as we go run.
Right.
She was along for the adventure, not for him.
Yes. Yeah. And that's why I loved I think it was Turn Left. That was the episode in season 4 where it kind of, you can kind of see, because Donna's always questioning him. You can, you wonder what his actual goal, end game is, the Doctor. But then you see an episode like Turn Left, where if she never met him, or what would happen if, in all the circumstances without the Doctor, and then you sit there and go, okay, take that, Donna. He's actually is a good guy. He is needed.
Right?
Because without him, it would have been mass chaos. So.
Yeah, well, the synopsis here. What would happen? This is on IMDb. What would happen if Donna never met the Doctor? How would Earth handle the Rancones? Rancones? Yes. Falling Titanic or the Sontarans?
Mm-hmm.
Aided by a familiar blonde time traveler, Donna corrects the alternative timeline from happening.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was and that's something I like about this show, is that you can play with all that type of stuff.
Yeah, and they do it well. They don't. So what? He took on the Daleks like 3 times, right? I think in each. So it's like, in once in a season, he's going to take on the Daleks. He's not going to take it. He's not going to fight them. From what I've seen so far, obviously I got more seasons to watch, but it's not like every other episode he's fighting the Daleks, you know. So you do have other, the robots,
Cybermen.
The Cybermen. Thank you. Sorry. That's kind of the same thing with them. You'll get one episode with the Cybermen or the Sontarians, So it's like, there are the creatures and the monsters and all that. They're introduced, but they're not, repeated a lot where you're like, okay, I'm bored of them,
Right. You got your multiple levels. So you have your A-level bad guys, the Cybermen, the Sontarans, and the Daleks. Then you have your B-level, Ice Warriors, Silurians,
right?
Masters somewhere, and they're more an A-level guy. With Davros kind of falls with the Daleks.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is good? Angels are kind of a B-level.
Mm-hmm. Which they were only in one episode. I was surprised that we only saw them the one time in it so far. Right.
So far. And I can explain that later if you want. And then you get your monsters of the week.
Yeah.
Your one-timers that show up, okay, like the Family of Blood. One and done.
Mm-hmm.
Jadoons are kind of a C/B level type of character. So you get some of these ones that show up every so often, but like I said, then there's the monster of the week set. Okay, here's a guy in a rubber suit.
Yeah.
One episode, and we'll never see him again.
I do like the names of them escapes me right now, but the Rhino Police Force.
Yeah, I think they're the Jadoon.
The Jadoon, those guys, they're cool. I love them. Yeah, exactly. I get a smile at when they pop up on the screen. Just
David Tennant was able to just fire right back in their language.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. But now he played David Tennant, he played Doctor Who. I mean, obviously I only got 2 people to compare it to, but he was awesome. No complaints, man. He had a range there, you could see his frustrations with how he has to live his life and how he feels like he keeps losing people with his companions and stuff like that. So you see his struggles and everything and you feel for him. I do anyway.
No, you absolutely. He did bring a good emotional level to the show, especially shows in the 80s. How they wrote the main characters and stuff are a lot different than what they write shows now. That you want more of an emotional range, not just so much of a your dashing good guy, which. In the original series, they were getting a little more into but they never broached it in the same aspects as they did now. But you're talking 80s, 90s versus early 2000s, 2010s. But yet Tennant did a fantastic job of whenever he was upset or he was something pained him, like he had a pain about something, bothered him. You felt that too because of just how he delivered it.
Yes.
So I mean, he is a fantastic actor.
Mm-hmm. Even when he got shrunken into that little golem looking thing, you felt his pain. You felt his pain, even though that was probably, what do you call it?
CG.
It was all CGI'd, but I still felt for him.
Or the pig-faced men.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. One thing I learned about David Tennant through Doctor Who, and I've kind of followed him since then. But he just has a way of delivering lines.
Mm-hmm.
And whether he's playing the detective in Broadchurch, the Purple Man, Scrooge McDuck, whoever, he could just deliver these lines in such a way that just sucks you in.
Mm. And what's funny to that is, like we were just saying before we got on here, for me, I didn't really know who David Tennant was. So this was he's been out there, but I just didn't pay attention to what his actual, resume was until, I started watching this, and then you IDMB him or whatever. And then you realize, holy, he's been in a lot of stuff that I didn't know he was in.
Yeah.
And now I want to go back and, listen to some of that to see if I can actually pick the voice out now.
Yeah, Gods and Omens. Let's see here. What else? And there's a bunch of other stuff too. I'm just skipping over here. The Sandman, Vox Machina.
Yeah, which I love that show, and I didn't even know he was in that. So,
yeah. Around the World 80 Days, obviously Doctor Who. Final Space, like you said. Arc Genesis. DuckTales.
Which that surprised me because didn't know that.
Yeah, the new DuckTales.
Yes.
The second person to be Scottish and play Scrooge McDuck. Jessica Jones. How to Train Your Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Camping. Oh, he was an interesting character in Camping.
And he voiced himself in Family Guy.
Yeah. Not a family show. Camping. If you're not a family show. Thunderbirds. Ferdinand.
He was in Ferdinand? Really?
Yeah, Agnes.
See, this is what I'm saying. He's been in so much stuff, man.
Yeah, D.I. Hardy in Broadchurch, again, fantastic role. He did a great job in that all 3 seasons. Yeah, himself and the Doctor in Family Guy. Fugitoid in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is Igor the Door. Jake and the Neverland Pirates. It goes on and on and on.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Because I would have sat here and go, okay, Doctor Who's a BBC show. Okay, maybe he was just popular on the BBC. But then you look at this, resume, you go, nope, it wasn't just the BBC.
Yeah, no. Bite loud. Oh, so he's been okay. He's been around. And again, does really, really good work. Now, I hate to burst your bubble so early into the show.
I'll go.
But I'm going to do it anyway. So I apologize. You have not seen all of David Tennant's Doctor Who from his run.
From this run?
Yes.
Well, I don't know how that's possible, but
Well, there's he did a special for Red Nose Day called Time Crash. So it's like a 7-minute skit that he did.
Okay.
Where Peter Davison showed up.
Okay.
So sometimes you can find it on YouTube, sometimes you can't. Next time you're over, I'll show it to you.
Okay.
Then there was also 2 animated shorts that 2 animated shows that he did.
For Doctor Who?
Yes. One called Dreamland, one called Infinite Quest.
And where can I find those?
Somewhere.
Definitely not on Disney Plus, I'm assuming then.
No.
Oh man. But doesn't he, because I mean I've said this to you before, he does have his double out there because of the hand. So he's still technically out there. Now I know you don't want to go into spoilers or whatever, but has he, well, it could be a spoiler, but so he hasn't re-shown from now till the present. From season 5 to the present, he's never brought up again or shown.
Best of my memory.
Mm-hmm. No. Okay.
No, just in that one flashback, I think. But that's no.
Okay.
There's unfortunately with the show as expansive as Doctor Who, there are some storylines that, as much as you would love to find out what happens or continues along, you never do.
Right. But like I said, because I think was it the 60th coming up? Like he's supposed to be coming back in some of the episodes or whatever. That's where I would speculate to say, okay, he's still out there because of that body double, because of his doppelganger, his clone, whatever the heck you want to call him.
Right.
He's still there unless they put some closure on it, which if they didn't, I have to keep watching. But to me, he's still out there. So that's how they would bring him back. In my eyes.
You just keep wishing that.
Look, man, if they can bring the Emperor back from Snoke body parts, then they
No, Snoke body parts were the Emperor. You have it the other way around.
Whatever.
Well, but so yes. So the other part is you came to the end of David Tennant's run. You also came to the end of Russell T Davies, who is the showrunner, which means the head producer, writer of Doctor Who. Since it's he brought it back in 2005 with Rose, and ran right through to the end of time with David Tennant, and that's when he handed the pen over to Stephen Moffat to take over. Stephen Moffat is the guy who brought you stuff like Silence in the Library and Blink.
Okay.
So he's the one who takes over as showrunner.
So he has experience in the Doctor Who universe. Then they
yes,
I guess promoted him or whatever.
Right.
Okay.
The head writer, showrunner from season 5 through season.
Because that was going to be my follow-up.
11.
That was going to be my follow-up question. How long? Like I didn't know how long was his tenure, or if he's still doing it.
No, he finished end of season 10. He did the Christmas season for season 10, and then Chris Chernobyl took over at 11 till 13.
No, I was gonna say it looked like they were going in fives. I'm like they every 5 years get a new producer in there.
Listen back to my discussion with Ken Deep about that one.
Yeah, true. Now, how does Moffat compare to the previous? Like, does he? In your opinion, does Does it get better? Does it stay the same? Does it get worse? You know what I mean?
In my opinion, besides of how long some of the production stuff took, until towards the end, I really liked that's not even fully true. Overall, I really liked what Moffat did, because Moffat, in my eyes, fixed some things that I didn't care that Russell T Davies did.
Okay.
So he went back and course corrected a few things.
Okay.
To bring back a more connective tissue to the classic series.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So he starts pulling stuff from the classic series and trying to make a more connective tissue, where I felt, and this is just me, Russell T Davies, who said he was a fan of the classic series, made them almost two different shows. It's almost like with Russell T Davies, it felt like Star Trek and then the Next Generation.
Right.
It's like, okay, yes, they take place in the same universe, but they really have nothing to do with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Where Moffat kind of was like, okay, like the episode where you had Bones and Scotty and that type of stuff show up. He starts pulling things in to make that connective tissue. It's like, okay, let's correct this, and here you go. You got this back going again. Okay, let's correct a few things here, and this is where we're going with that. So he starts fixing some of that stuff and making connections. I don't want to give too much away, but for instance, the Cybermen.
Right.
So under Russell T Davies, the Cybermen were created in an alternate universe by a one guy. And he created the Cybermen, that's where the Cybermen were, and then he started coming through from the alternate universe to our universe. Moffat kind of disregards that, and the Cybermen that show up during his run are a evolution of the Cybermen that we've been watching since the original series.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And even at one point, you see Cybermen, older versions of the Cybermen, and I think what they explained was, okay, this group of Cybermen evolved because they are over here in the galaxy or universe, and then you got these ones over here, and so there's a whole progression of it.
Well, that's the beauty of like a time traveling all over the place TV show. You can you can do that,
Right.
So you don't have to explain it. You can just say, "Hey, look, this is the way it is, man."
Yes. And then like even again, without getting too much into spoilers, like the Daleks. There was a you kind of got what was going on.
Well, every time with the Daleks that I've seen, they're always the last. It was like the last one of the species, and then the next time you see them, there's a million of them. So you go, I thought they were the last ones, and they're gone, but nope, they're back in full force. So
right.
They always come back.
Moffat at one point actually, when they created what would be go on to known as the Skittle Doctors, Daleks. You'll run into them.
Okay.
But there is a particular episode where you see every single generation and variation of the Daleks.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. So again, he makes that connective tissue and brings them all in, which is what I liked.
Okay. So then I'm going to assume that the people that follow him didn't follow suit, right? They probably brought their own vision to Doctor Who.
After he steps down at the end of Peter Capaldi's run, Chris Chernobyl takes over, and well, you'll get there.
I know.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Russell T Davies does to bring the show back.
Look, man, I'm trying. There's only so much time in a day, and I'm proud of myself for getting through 4 seasons already.
Hey, you're doing fantastic.
Yeah.
We're in June. You have till November. You're doing good.
Yeah, because what happens is like I'll watch an episode here, I'll watch an episode here, I'll watch an episode here, and then all of a sudden I get hooked on like the final 2 or 3 episodes because what they do it right, man. They know how to end the season. And it all of a sudden it becomes okay. I have to binge the last 2 or 3 episodes to see what happens at the end of them. So that's
just
usually
get
the
really
pattern.
hooked in.
What's that?
I said you get really hooked in.
Oh yeah. Like I said, especially at the end of season 4, the specials, the Christmas specials, and whatever came out, those last 4 episodes were better than what happened in the season. So, I mean, yes, it's all season 4, but the specials at the end.
Kind of, sort of.
They were phenomenal.
See, I end season 4 whenever Donna left.
Okay.
So to me, that's the end of season 4, and then there was the specials. The Next Doctor, and all those others.
Mm-hmm.
So which would be your favorite season so far?
That's tough. See, I did like Donna. I might have to say the one with Martha Jones, because I love Donna, but and Rose was a little the whole puppy dog thing was too much. But the more intriguing and better episodes were in season 3 with Martha Jones, I think.
Okay. Yeah, because we had Blink then.
Mm-hmm.
I think what else?
Yeah, I was trying to pull up the episodes.
Yeah, I'm looking up something else at the moment. I apologize.
That's okay.
What else did we have? We had Smith and Jones. That was the first one, which introduced to Jadoon. Blink was several episodes later. You had Daleks Take Manhattan, and part 2 of that as well, which introduced Dalek Sec.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He pops up from time to time. All
right, so you had, we got the introduction of the Rhino people were in there. You got to meet William Shakespeare. The Gridlock episode, that's when they were in the car or the bus or whatever.
Yep.
They couldn't go nowhere. The Daleks in Manhattan, loved those 2 episodes. The Lazarus Effect, it was good. The one with they were near the sun and like the ship was going to crash and burn up into that sun or whatever star. Blink.
that's fantastic.
Yeah, the sounds of the drum. That's why. What's his face? The master.
The master shows back up.
Yeah, and then isn't that when he shrinks into the little golem thing? So yeah, yeah. No, for me, it was like I did enjoy the Donna episodes, but to me that season didn't really it didn't hit it out until the last 4 episodes. That's what I'm not saying that the episodes were bad like the first few of the season. I'm just saying like the last 4 are the ones that really took it home. So, but for me, I think the third season I enjoyed. Like, those were the episodes I wanted to get through. Like, I was into it. I'm like, all right, let's keep going. So, but Rose, like, the first season was good, but it was just, I think Rose is what killed it for me, just because of, you know, her infatuation with him. I think that's what took it down for me.
Yeah, I as much as people like Rose and stuff, and nothing against Billy Piper.
No.
But like you said, the lovesick puppy dog and following him here and there, it's just like they try to go back. Oh well, there's always been an infatuation with the companions and the doctor. I'm just like, no, it wasn't that way.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it's just, to me, it didn't feel right.
Yeah. No.
So whenever it's like she's gone, she's leaving. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then when they do bring that back in the current show, I'm not going to say much. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it better where the companion is there for the ride and not there for the doctor.
Right. Exactly. You know, but season 4 did have to, like, you met the Ood, right? You meet them in season 4. And they were really cool, especially when they went rabbit or whatever, and they had the red eyes and stuff. They looked really creepy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you got the doctor's
and the red
daughter.
Eyes would go away. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. The doctor's daughter, you know, she gets introduced, so I'm sure she's coming back.
Yeah, I told you about storylines, yes.
Yeah.
She comes back, but not in Doctor Who.
Oh, really?
I explained to you that.
Yeah. I know. So, and then, like I said, Turn Left was a good one.
And I explained who she is.
Yes, you did. Yes, in real life. Right?
Yes, in real life.
In real life, yes.
She is the daughter of the 5th Doctor.
Right.
Who is now David Tennant's father-in-law.
Yes.
Who will go to convention, stand outside the queue to get David Tennant's picture and autograph it with signs saying he's not that great.
Oh, man. Yeah. But, you know, again, the highlights, Turn Left, you know, and then at the end he wipes Donna's memories and stuff. So that was kind of the end of those. But then, like I said, that was the end of season 4. But then you had the 4-episode specials.
Yep.
So, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, season 4 was weird. It was good. I enjoyed it. But it was just unbalanced, maybe, is what I'm trying to. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. You missed River Song.
River Song. Is that
Forest
the name
of the Dead?
What's that?
Forest of the Dead is her first episode.
Who, Donna's?
No, River Song.
Oh, River Song. Yeah, right. Gotcha. Sorry.
You may be seeing a lot more of her.
And that was the woman who whispered in his ear his name?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That's what I was wondering, because I'm glad you brought that up. Because they made mention of her. I mean, she was in there. She did the, you know, I guess she did tell him his name and stuff, and that's how, you know, he knew he could trust her or whatever the heck was going on. But I wondered if they were going to bring her back. But if they do regenerations, it's going to be a different doctor. So,
well, if you listen to what she said, you're not my doctor. You're not the doctor I know.
Oh, but see, I thought that was because he was younger and at a different timeline. I thought that she meant because, you know what I mean, because of that, and that because he didn't know who she was and stuff like that. That's what I thought.
Yeah. No.
Oh, it's because, okay.
She knows a different generation. And
all right, that makes sense then. Okay.
Because those 2 episodes are also Stephen Moffat episodes, I believe.
Mm.
So again, he will pull, so like the Angels, River Song and stuff, the episodes that he was part of, he pulls those characters into his seasons.
Mm. Yeah, Farsi, that was a creepy one, because that was the one where it's like, one guy kept saying, who turned out the lights or something?
Yeah. Hey, who turned out the lights?
Yeah. So.
Okay, all in all, I really enjoyed the David Tennant year. Chris Eccleston, I thought, did a decent job.
Mhm.
I was thankful for that season because it'd been years since I'd seen any, been exposed to any Doctor Who. And, since there was anything new, since the Fox movie in 96, 97,
Mhm.
I think that came out, um, which introduced the Eighth Doctor, and then we had nothing. And then, you had the books and, find stuff on VHS.
See, and I wonder what Eccleston. Sorry to interrupt, but I wonder what Eccleston though. Would he have that? Would if he had like a longer run, a 3-season run, would it has been as good as David Tennant? Like we'll never know that, but like, would he be as revered? Like Eccleston, he was awesome,
Right.
But unfortunately, we only got this short sample size, so we will never find out. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I heard rumors. You take it with a grain of salt if there's any truth behind it. That originally again, this is the rumor. Like I said, I don't know if there's anything behind it, but originally that they wanted David Tennant, but he was new. No one really knew of him, so they were able to get Eccleston. It's okay. Eccleston will give you the one season to get the show going, and then because he's more of a bigger name, so
Right.
you're going to draw people in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll bring Tennant in.
So that was their plan, though. It was just one season for Eccleston, or
They
were just going to play it by ear and see how it went, I guess.
That's the theory that I heard, and the only thing that really to me pays credence to that is so the first season's 11 episodes,
something like that. Yeah.
You already knew going into that season that's it for Eccleston.
Mm.
It wasn't
talk about me, right? Or
no,
everybody.
the when they were filming it.
Okay.
When they wrote it, filmed it, and were shooting that series, because they don't film them in order. So they didn't film Rose and then film the next one and the next one and the next one. They do film them out of order and then they piece it together, just like most TV shows or just like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So they knew Eccleston time was just these set amount of episodes. It wasn't something they decided at the end. It wasn't it was pretty much known from the beginning. This is going to be his run, one season done, because you already had to bring in Tennant.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had to set up everything for him to regenerate at the end.
Right.
So you had basically both of them cast at the same time.
Mm.
Where later on it's David Tennant's doing his run, and then somewhere around season 3 he announces, okay, this next season is going to be my end. Or actually, I think for him it was somewhere, it could have even, the announcement could have came season 4, but he probably knew at the end of season 3, that's it, one more season, I'm done, but I'll give you the extra specials or whatever, however they negotiated it with him. So you didn't find, you didn't know that going in. You knew that further down his run game. Same thing with Matt Smith. He did his stuff. He did his, he's doing his runs, and then come the end of his time in the TARDIS, he's like, you know what? It was right before the 50th special. He's like, okay, I'll do the 50th special. I'm doing a couple episodes after that, but then I'm moving on to other things.
Mm-hmm. Well, then I got 2 questions then. So if Eccleston knew that it was a one and done, did he put his best effort forward though for the show, knowing he was being replaced and it was just a one and done. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm not saying that he wouldn't go all out, but if you know you're only here for like an overnight stay, are you going to put everything into it? And then my second one, did Tennant know that he was like it was only going to be three seasons and he was gone?
Tennant, no.
Okay.
Tennant, no, because like I said, he knew. These 3 seasons spanned. Yeah. When did he start versus when he ended? So he started. He shows up at the very end of Parting of Ways. That last moment, you were brilliant. And you know what? So was I. And then he regenerates in the big flash of light. And he says, oh, yes, where were we? Barcelona.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
End of that. Go right into the Christmas invasion. So Parting of Ways was June of 2006. And then New Earth, September of 2006. And strangely enough, the Christmas invasion happened in September also 2006. So you had. That's definitely not right. Anyway, so it's he started 2005. Actually, it was right.
Who's that? Tennant?
Yeah. Because
I would assume it had to be 0506 at the end of the because it came out in 05.
Yeah,
season 1.
IMDb's got it wrong for whatever reason. They have 2006 as the date. I think that's when it aired in the U.S. But It's a 2005 run. So 2005, the end of 2005 till what did I say? It was 2010.
Mm-hmm.
So then, 5 years, 3 seasons, 5 years.
Who made the decision to let Tennant go, though? If you know that answer. And why? Because if he was that popular and that well received, why would they let him go?
Well, I don't think it was that they said, okay, we're done with you. I think it was more that, okay, I'm done. The other thing what happened was, and this you will see generally happens during a regeneration, or regeneration happens around this time because it's happened before in the prior show. You change showrunners. So Russell T Davies says, after this, I'm done. And generally the Doctor will bow out at that same time because to avoid the new showrunner has his Doctor in mind.
I got you. Okay.
So just to kind of keep it neater. Didn't happen exactly the same way whenever Tom Baker was because not RTD. Jonathan Nathan Turner took over the last season of Tom Baker. Then the regeneration happened, and Peter Davison came in as the 5th Doctor, so 4th to 5th, and there was a new showrunner just ahead of that. But and then he went through, I think, to the end of the 6th, and then he bowed down around that time, and then new showrunner came in, 7th Doctor came in, and there was a whole bunch of mess going on at that time too. So, but yes,
has there ever been a time when you didn't see the old Doctor regenerate to the new Doctor? You know what I'm saying? Because like if there was a falling out, then obviously they wouldn't be able to film it. You know what I'm saying? And then they had to switch real quick.
Yes, in theory, on screen, no. In reality, yes.
Okay.
So when Colin Baker, who was the 6th Doctor, his time ended, and that was a mess behind the scenes of what happened there between writer strikes and change-ins and this and that. So he only lasted 2 seasons. And again, at no real fault of his own.
Mm-hmm.
He never filmed his regeneration. So what happened was, he ended at the end of his second season, which was put together as a package called Trial of a Time Lord. So when Trial of the Time Lord ended, it just kind of ended. Okay, we'll go to the next episode. Even mysteriously, in the middle of that, his companion changed, and there was no real logical explanation of where this other person came from.
Right.
But again, there was a writer strike going on at that time. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on, a whole bunch of issues. To bring in Sylvester McCoy in the next episode, which was Time and Ranny. Well, how do we, here's the regeneration. So how do we do this? We don't have Colin Baker. They dress Sylvester McCoy up in Colin Baker's costume, put a wig on him.
Oh, no.
And then put a digital blur over his face. So the TARDIS crashes. The companion at the time, Bonnie Langford, who plays the character Melanie Bush, walks over to stumbles over to the doctor, sees him passed out on the ground, flips him over. You can't see his face because it's just this like multi-technicolor blur. This the technology of '89,
right,
or thereabout. And the story continues from there. And next thing you know, you see Sylvester McCoy in the Sixth Doctor outfit, and then begin the process of his tenure as the Doctor.
Right. Okay. That's funny. But I mean, I would assume then that anybody who signs up to play the Doctor knows that it's not a long-term deal. Like they're only going to be it for as short as 1 year or as long as like 3 or 4 years, right?
Correct. Actually, I take that back. There was one other time, and again, they did course correct that. So Sylvester McCoy, you saw his regeneration to the 8th Doctor in the Fox TV special, and like I said, that was 96, 96, 97, somewhere around there. But Paul McGann, who was the 8th Doctor, who only had that one TV special, everything else was on books, was the guy before Chris Eccleston.
Okay.
And, in the episode Rose, it's Chris Eccleston. So, okay, what happened? Before the 50th anniversary, they did a whole bunch of shorts. And you finally get to see the end of Paul McGann's Doctor and him regenerate into the next Doctor at that point. And I won't say anything because you're not there yet.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. But yes, until that time, you never saw how the 8th Doctor regenerated. What caused that, and what was the end of his story?
Well, speaking of the writer strike, or of a writer strike, is the one that we currently are in. Will that affect what's coming up in November, or is everything done in the can? You know what I mean, ready to go?
My understanding. Well, this is June. The stuff comes out in November. They're done.
Okay. So
those things are recorded and
they're done. Okay. I didn't know how far along they were and whatnot. So
they're also in England.
Okay. Never mind. Never mind. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Sorry.
It's okay.
Different people.
Yep. Yeah, different unions.
Right. Well, exactly. But I'm just saying, because I heard you say that, and I was like, there's a writer strike now, and I know how how much you're looking forward to seeing that, and I'm like, I hope that's not pushing anything off, but that would make sense. It's a different union, so okay. So you're on track to see it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, when that comes out, how is that being? Is it streaming? Is it on the BBC? How is this being released?
In the UK territories, it will be on the BBC. The rest of the world, it'll be on Disney Plus.
On Disney Plus. And is it
Yes.
a week to week thing that they're doing, or are they dropping a whole thing of whatever they're doing?
There's multiple episodes. I think they announced 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I forget what the they announced what the timing on them was. Okay, the 3 of them will happen over the course of a little bit of time, but yeah. So you have the Star Beast, Wild Blue Yonder, and the Giggle. All we know is the first one, the Star Beast, will happen in happened in November.
Okay.
On this, right around the 60th or on the 60th.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of them, I'm not positive of their exact timing off the top of my head.
Right.
One may be a Christmas special, one will be coming shortly after, and then at some point we'll get introduced to the new Doctor.
And is that when it well, I mean, you don't have a crystal ball in front of you, but like, because right now you can watch Doctor Who on Max. I'm assuming eventually it's going to be on Disney Plus, but is that when the transition is supposed to happen, or is it just going to stay, the new stuff's going to be on, but the old stuff's staying where it is?
No one's got an answer for. No one outside of Disney and the BBC has an answer to that.
Mm.
Because I've reached out to the BBC and Disney Plus. Other people have done the same, and we've all gotten the same answer. Read the press release.
Really? Wow.
Yes. That there is they are not telling us anything about what is happening regarding to 2005 through 2022's episodes.
I wonder why though. Like, what's, you know what I mean? Like, what's the big secret? What is, you know?
I don't know if because there's negotiations going on and contract terms,
right,
whatnot. Because at one point they were on Netflix and then ended up another streaming service, and then eventually ended up on HBO's streaming service. Or is that on Prime? I forget what. Maybe it was on Prime and then ended up. But anyway, so the show's bounced around before on who carries it. So, or the other thing is that there is a announcements coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, here's the cast. Here's what we're going to tell you now. Here's the special the anniversary coming up. But the possibility that there's still more announcements coming is very likely, especially just ahead of, the closer we get to November, the more they're going to want to hype it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, we know David Tennant's coming back, and we know Donna's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
They just announced that Bonnie Langford will be coming back sometime in season 14 as Melanie Bush. So, okay, she's coming back now. So, whom else?
I would assume Rose is coming back.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Will Rose come back? Will Martha Jones come back? Will
Now, isn't it for the New York Comic Con in October? Isn't David Tennant going to be there? Did I see that or no?
Yes, David Tennant will be there.
So, do you think they'll be? I mean, it's a month before, but you think they'll have some news out of that too?
Well, for someone that we know that we were talking to was saying that this is who they've announced so far.
Right.
But again, just like I was just saying, they haven't told you everyone.
Everyone, right? Because there's
So-
got to be a big panel there for that.
We know David Tennant's there.
hmm
Do we know why David Tennant's there? Now, we could say he's there for Good Omens too.
hmm
Or there's Doctor Who too. He could be there for a couple different reasons, but we don't know why he's there.
Why he's there? Yeah.
But
a month before the Doctor Who, you kind of would think
there's a
that
better chance he's there for Doctor Who than he is for Good Omens.
Yeah.
And who's paying for him to be there?
hmm
And if he's there for Doctor Who, it's not just going to be him on the stage.
Yeah. Can't be.
Right. Usually anytime that they have, a something going on presented, where, here's the Marvel thing. And, we got Samuel L. Jackson. And here's, the cast of, and here's this, and here's the cast of that, or whatever.
Mhm.
So it's never just, Kevin
The one
Feige
guy.
standing up there by himself.
Right.
No,
Right.
he brings on a bunch of people. Again, would it make sense to just have David Tennant there by himself?
No. No.
So
And,
is it-
and
Are they
And
bringing the
obviously,
new people? Are they bringing the old people? Are they bringing in a mixture? I think there are still going to be several announcements coming.
yeah, and Comic-Con doesn't release everything all at once, so
Right.
they'll be leaking. The closer we get to it, the more and more names are going to come out, and then obviously then you'll start piecing things together and going, okay, now we know what direction they're going. We know what he's there for. So, and then that'll make his panel. Oh boy, you got the ins to get into that panel. That's nice. And we know somebody that's probably going to be at that panel.
Yes. I hope you enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Not me. I'm at that high roller, man. I'm not a VIP.
Doesn't mean anything. You just have to get there at the right time.
That's
Stand in
true.
line.
Yeah. Yeah, on the phone. You got to book all those panels on your phone and hope you get it. And that was a disaster last year. Oh,
But yep. So overall, what do you think of the show?
overall, it's awesome. It's definitely something, because it's like I've mentioned before. Like you told me that this, you surprised. I think you said you were surprised that I haven't seen this already because you thought it was up my alley, and it 100% is. But just like I've said, I thought Doctor Who was more of like a learning, because it was on PBS, so I thought it was more of an educational show. It's far from that.
You learn a few things, but
Right, but it's totally up my alley, and I'm like, man, I missed out on this. I should have been watching this a long time ago. So that's why I got hooked, and that's why I'm continuing to watch this. Because otherwise, I would have been like, it's not for me. I'm turning it off. But it's goofy enough. I like the sci-fi. It's got some great, characters. Because they're not like the modern CGI. You know what I mean? So. But
you
they
still
look
got some rubber masks going on.
yeah, they're rubber masking it, but they still look cool. So it's like, and you sit there and go, okay, what I find myself doing is going, when did high def come in? Because you sit there, you're looking at the quality of the picture, so because you're watching 05 and now I'm watching it in 2010. I'm like, you could see the difference in the quality of the picture. You know what I'm saying? And then you can slowly start seeing the better quality of the aliens and stuff. So it's like, it's cool watching.
They step up the filming quality next season because they even redesigned the TARDIS because of the they're using the higher definition
of the higher def. Yeah. So, but no, dude, it's if you want a ranking, I mean, I wouldn't even be able to tell you. So far, I give it a 9 out of 10 because it's been a good ride. It's been fun. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. Is it for everybody? Probably not.
No.
But you gotta be into that sci-fi stuff. A goofy, nice little adventure of the sci-fi, genre. So
yeah,
and that's me.
This has been for as long as I remember, one of my favorite shows. Yeah, if anyone ever asks you, one of your favorite TV shows? It's always been Doctor Who.
If this was on the Sci-Fi Channel, I would have picked up on this thing a long time ago. But because it wasn't, that's why I didn't pick up on it, because I watched Eureka, whatever, all these different shows that were on the Sci-Fi, you know what I mean? And this one just, it never popped up on my radar. So, you know, I thank you for introducing me to this, because it's been a good run.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna be mad when I catch up. It's gonna be over. You know, same thing happened to me with Supernatural. Supernatural on the CW. It was like 15 seasons long. I shotgunned through it on Netflix. Watched the whole entire series. It was bittersweet, because when I finally got through that 15th or whatever season it was, I'm like, man, it's over. What else do I watch now? So that's where I'm going to be with this once I get through however many seasons it is.
I hear that, but I mean, keep this in mind that you've watched, by the time you finished Jodie Whittaker's run, you've watched 18 years of Doctor Who.
Wow.
In whatever time frame, you know, the year that,
right.
But yeah, whatever time.
Right.
There are still 42 more years worth of Doctor Who.
Oh, jeez. That's the old stuff, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, you know, well, there's a gap, too, because it ended in 93, I want to say it was. And then you had the one episode in 96, I'm assuming it was. 96, 97, I keep saying. And then so you go from, say, 97 to 2005.
Yeah.
That there was nothing.
I'm not going to lie, though. If they actually, because you said that they got those under wraps, right? Like, it's not, you can't find them anywhere, the old stuff?
No, it's not that you can't find them anywhere. It's very specific where you can find them. So you can either subscribe to BritBox.
Okay.
And they have the majority of the library there. There are some available through digital. So what I do is I have one of those shopping apps where, you know, I go shopping, I scan my receipt and I build up points, and then I get myself an Apple iTunes card.
Okay.
And buy stories that way.
Okay. Well, let's put it this way. If they ever opened those series up to one of the mainstream streaming devices, and I'm caught up on the current stuff, I would dabble back. I would just go back to see. I'm not saying I would like commit to the whole entire thing, but I would go back just to see what it looked like from back then. You know what I mean?
Well, or then there's also the DVD option, which I have a decent library here. And I also have stuff on VHS. But BritBox is the streaming service that has pretty much the libriary.
Okay. And that's what's that, like a BBC?
That's
thing?
the BBC ITV joint venture of streaming service. So you find a lot of the classic BBC stuff, comedy wise and whatnot, on there.
Okay. And then one last question on okay, so you know how I've always said that people want to get on Star Wars just to have Star Wars on their resume. For Doctor Who, is it like that as well, where actors want to get on Doctor Who just to have Doctor Who on their resume? The only reason why I ask is as I'm going along, I'm seeing actors, not well-known main actors, but I'm seeing actors that I've seen on other shows before pop up on it. So I'm wondering if that's them trying to get their, hey, I was on Doctor Who, so that's on the resume to get other gigs.
Maybe more so with British actors.
Okay, but not so much as the American stuff. American actors.
Not as much. There will be some people that you recognize that show up in the next few seasons.
Okay.
So yeah. There's a few people that you'll recognize coming up. Is it as heavy duty as like Star Wars? No.
Okay.
But like I said, maybe more on the British end, because if they're casting anybody, they usually pull from the European pool before they pull from the American pool.
Which I can see that, because there's two people from Merlin, which was a BBC show, that had two roles in Doctor Who so far. It was the kid that played Merlin himself, and then it was his the person that watched over him. It's been a while since I saw Merlin, but both of those, he was an older guy. So both of them I've spotted in the show. So I'm like, it's the BBC connection,
Yeah. Just keep watching.
Okay.
And on that bombshell,
Lancelot's gonna make a cameo too. They're gonna have the whole entire roster of Merlin in there.
I didn't watch Merlin, but you let me know on that.
That was good. It was actually good, but not good. Sorry.
You keep watching.
I will.
You let me know who shows up.
Okay, you got it.
Like I said, on that bombshell, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. No, thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm glad you've been enjoying this, and I look forward to say maybe when you finish up Matt Smith.
Matt Smith? All right. Sounds good to me.
All right.
All right, brother.
Have a good one.
You too.
Well, that will do it for the show this week. Thank you again to Dave for joining us, and let us know, what did you think of David Tennant or the Russell T Davies years of Doctor Who? Join the conversation on our Facebook page, facebook.com/WDMagicCast. Our Facebook group is facebook.com/group/WDMagicCast. Still working on getting that really going. On Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, we are at WDMagicCast, and also make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can find some fun things on there. A lot of the audio for shows are on there as well. Getting a little behind on that, I apologize. I'll see what I can do about that. And if you really want, and this is actually the cool part, you could leave us a voice message through the Anchor app or Anchor.fm website, or record your own voice message on your smartphone, tablet, computer, whatever you have, and email it to email@wdmagiccast.com. You could also email any questions or suggestions you may have to that address as well, and have your questions read on the show and answered on the show. Links to all these are in the show notes and on our website, which is wdmagiccast.com. I want to thank you for your time. I know how little time we all have these days, and how crazy life really is. Thank you. Always turning up, always coming out and showing your support and listening and being there for us. We really do appreciate it. We do notice, and thank you. Please go to Apple Podcast, leave us a rating and review on there. This will really help the show out. Spotify, you could do that as well. We have all 5-star reviews at the moment. Please keep them coming. The more 5-star reviews you have, the more they will do and to promote the show. Or you could also promote the show by sharing out a link on social network. Don't forget to tag us at WDMagicCast. And this way we can say thank you in person or over on the social networks. But yeah, send out, share the link, let people know what you're listening to, let them know about the show, tell people about it. The bigger the Disney family, the bigger the WD Magiccast family, the better. Walt believed in a big Disney family, so do I. Don't forget to subscribe to the show. This way you'll always know when new episodes are posted. And while you're at it, consider becoming a premium subscriber. Truly, really help the show out. You can do this over at anchor.fm/WDMagicCast/support. You can also check out our merchandise shop, where you get yourself some fun, cool WD Magicast stuff there. Shirts, t-shirts, tank tops, cell phone holders, coffee mugs, a whole bunch of really awesome items over there. You can find the link in the show notes as well, because remember, this show is brought to you by listeners like you. In Japan, oops, sorry, I'm dropping things here. I apologize. In Japan, broken objects are often repaired with gold. The flaw is seen as a unique piece of the object's history, which adds to its beauty. Consider this the next time you feel broken. Never give up, never give in on yourself. Be your own hero. If you need help, help is out there for you. Do not be afraid to ask. And I'd like to end this week's show with a quote from David Tennant himself as the Doctor. You want weapons? We're in a library. Books. The best weapons in the world. And that's David Tennant as Doctor Who. Thank you again for listening, everybody. And I'll see you next time.